Hey! Sorry, was that too much? So, first time doing this live.
Oh, it's just my name. I'm going to take my name off since it's both of us.
Okay, that's fine. It can be your name. I'm good with that.
Hey, guys. Welcome to Experience Matters live at Forrester. We're here. There's people on the other side of us watching us and people watching us remotely. We're so glad you're here. Our producers across the room, can you take my name off since it's Raj and me?
It's fine. I mean, I know you like the attention, so it could be your name. That's fine. It's okay with me. But yeah, it'll come down.
Raj, what is your favorite thing you've learned so far about Forrester right now?
Well, I mean, I've been to, actually, I'll answer that in a second, but I actually want to get your thoughts on it because, as for those of our listeners have known about this, we started the show a couple months ago, right? Because Crystal had gone to her first CX conference in April, right? And she was not that impressed with it. So I said, you got to come to a much bigger, much broader CX conference. So she's here at Forrester, which is a lot different. And I've been to this many times, but this is your first time at a conference of this size. So what have you learned versus what you thought about from the previous conference?
Well, CX conferences do have food.
That's true. So the food is pretty good at this one.
And there's beverages.
Yeah,
at this one.
This is well done.
It's a little hard to find water sometimes. There's a lot of coffee.
Yeah.
So that is that. But there are so many people here from like banks, insurance.
Yeah.
We met someone who's still doing paper surveys.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
Didn't know how to react to that. I just tried to turn around. I'm not going to lie to you.
And it's a good mix of people. And for me, I like coming to these events. I see a lot of old friends that I haven't seen in a while. Apparently I am, yeah. A lot of old friends. We've been fraternizing with the enemy a little bit, right?
And then my first Qualtex people in real life.
They're not,
met them before.
And they're not all terrible. I've got some friends there, so that was.
You say that on live TV.
You just said that.
I said I met them in real life. Okay. I didn't say that.
Right, I apologize for that. I do have a lot of friends there, and we actually. It's fun because we also have like a former coworker that's stalking the grounds, and we got to keep him away from our customers. So that's been challenging as well.
Awesome. But yeah, a little bit of a news.
Okay, we are live, right? So I can't get edited out. So yeah, but no, this is a good event, and I think getting serious now. I think one of the things that's interesting about this event versus like maybe previous ones, I think one of the things happening in CX, right? We're talking about AI taking over, and a lot of the technologies, a lot of events are AI-driven things, and even at the event we were at 2 years ago. Thomas. Oh, yeah, how's it going?
You have to read and talk at the same
time. I'm reading the chat. Sorry. Crystal's coaching me on the fly here. But no, I think what's great is that there is a lot of AI content here, but the core elements that make us as CX professionals important are the other stuff, right? So there's still a lot of great content about process, about people, about thinking about CX the right way, about creating empathy, right? And even which we'll get to some of the questions we've gotten, are things that are not even about AI, right? So I think it's important for us as CX professionals to see that other stuff is still important, and I'm glad that Forrester's shown that as well here.
Yeah, I think that there is, while vendors may be thinking that AI is like the sexy new thing, the reality of practitioners is that they're just still trying to learn how to be bold about their insights. AI is not making them bold. It might be making them more efficient. It might be adding some value, but it's not changing the ethos of who they are.
Yeah.
And I think that is something that we're definitely seeing a lot in the marketplace. Vendors think their AI is really cool. We do too. But like the reality, I think, is people are still struggling, even in these large, like 100-year-old companies, to get, I can't believe I'm going to say this in a serious way, to like digitally transform their companies. And AI is just like too far outside the box for where they're trying to go.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
And so I think that's something I've definitely learned. I will say, this is probably one of the best conferences I've been to for like brands and leads and like the quality of attendees. Even in the market research space, this is 10 out of 10 better than some of the ones me and Brian over here have been to. Brian's
at our booth here, yeah.
He's gonna man the spin wheel, but I think we're scaring people away.
Tell us about what's going on with the spin wheel. How does that work?
Okay, so
tell us about that,
guys. Let me tell you, if you're working a trade show booth, you have to have like some sort of whimsical element to bring people in. Right now, it's the podcast, so people are giving us weird looks as they walk by. But you know what? No one else is doing it, so at least we'll be memorable. And the spin wheel You come by the booth, we scan your badge, and then you get to win either a really fun hat from a women-owned business in Austin, a $5 Starbucks card, a CX Pro book written by our president and Carl. And then what else is on there?
Deck of cards.
Deck of cards.
Yeah.
And like mystery prizes. So, we have to make a good experience even inside our like 10 by 10 space, because customer experience isn't just about the survey. It's about the experience itself. And that's why I think most customer experience teams should also be like slightly whimsical event teams, but I'll keep that opinion.
Well, yeah, that's a good point. We talked about this in the first show, right? You talked about how CX conferences aren't great about delivering great customer experiences themselves. And I think we've noticed some little things here at the Forrester event. Tell us about maybe both good and bad, maybe those little CX moments that you've seen where Forrester's putting on a good event for those of you that aren't here.
I mean, the food, frankly, being fed is key. And I have celiac disease, so having an option for gluten-free, dairy-free things is really good.
Yeah.
Making sure inclusive of dietary restrictions, making sure people feel comfortable to show up as their full selves in the workplace. We hear a lot about that from our employee experience side. I will say there weren't any mocktail options with the bars last night.
That's a good point.
I think a lot of times people, when they think about diversity and inclusion, they forget about sobriety a lot.
That's a good point. Yeah.
And so that's the one thing. And then I didn't really know what I was supposed to wear.
So
like the dress code.
Should they be more clear about the dress code?
But I think it's also like the
people have a
vibe of
sense
the
of what they're
day. So
How are you? Yeah. So we actually, so this is because we're live at a show. Someone's come by and asking about us. So fortunately, we got Brian here. But again, you're right. The podcast brought people into the booth.
I know.
Yeah. But Brian's on it, taking care of.
Thankfully, we have salespeople, not us.
Interesting on the non-alcoholic and sobriety. That's a good point because one of the things that I've seen is that they are becoming more popular now. Everything good?
Yeah, Ken is gonna go walk around and show. I'm gonna add Ken's video to the stage.
Oh yeah, there you go. That's a good point.
So people can see what the Forrester conference looks like. This is so fun.
I know. By the way, this is Crystal's first time trying this, so she's using the CX conference as her playground to try something. But and we got some. Oh, look at this! We got somebody that's stopping by, Gary. A good friend, yeah. Jump in.
I'm
Say hi.
Yeah. Oh, you gotta get in the shot.
Yeah.
Okay, this is our friend Gary. He's at our partner booth, our friends Thematic. Raj, tell us a little bit about Gary, or Gary, you tell us.
Sure. Right here.
All right. Well, my name's Gary Badcock. I'm in sales and marketing. We're an AI text analytics company that helps you understand your construction data. And so whether that's a survey, open-ended comments, whether that's a contact center chat or an online review or something in social media, we help you make sense of that, figure out themes, what's going on with the customer.
So
and
that's cool.
And how do you take action on that?
We've actually got one of our longtime loyal listeners and fans is here joining us. So we got a few people watching us. So by the way, speaking of customer experience, like one of the great things that I love about this event too, which Fortune's never done before, is they've introduced some fun elements, right? So there's some games and some things. So Gary, tell us about the game we played yesterday.
We had a pretty knockdown kind of cornhole game yesterday.
Yeah.
And I thought I was going to crush you.
But I
was way up, and I was like, okay. I can't
well, so the problem is Gary put the things too close together, right? So it took me a while to adjust because I actually play cornhole regulation size, but Gary put them too close together. And by the time I adjusted, I came back and
I thought it threw you off well enough.
But it was a 20-20 draw, right? We had to come back to work. We had to stop playing because the game got too intense.
Boys, come on.
But let's actually get back to people probably don't want to hear about our cornhole game. They're probably tuning in to hear about CX. You wrote something recently, and I want to ask you about that.
Yeah, I wrote an article this week. Just recently came out about how companies use open-ended comments and in their surveys and try to have more conversations. That are going to transaction based. It's like as opposed to giving them Likert scales and asking them to check a box or asking them to tell them how likely they are to recommend their company. Because it's not always a conversation. Customers want to have relationships with companies they spend money on, and in those relationships, they want to have conversations, not box ticking exercises. So go to unstructured data. There's a gold mine of unstructured data in your company. You don't need to do surveys all the time. Do surveys.
You paid and switched.
And where can people find it?
You can find it at getthematic.com.
That's
I
why
can also share it with folks if you want to.
you can get in the comments.
Yeah, we'll stick in the comments. Okay.
Or friend Gary on LinkedIn.
That's
I've used LinkedIn.
yeah.
It's quite handy.
All right, I'm gonna put you on the spot one more time because we do have a few questions from our audience.
And
So
we have like live listeners that are here.
yeah. There's people that are here. Yeah. So do you want to answer, Paulina? Do you want to put up the question from Nataliano? I think I thought about answering this question, but then I figured she's not listening. Okay, so I'll ask it to you, Gary. You can answer it. So Nataliano asks, what is the best CX strategy to opt for if starting from scratch?
Well, I think your CX strategy should be based on your brand strategy. So your brand strategy is making the promise to your customers. And your CX strategy should be responsible for fulfilling that promise. And so look to your brand strategy first. Do your brand strategy. What kind of expectations are you setting with your customers?
It is so cool.
And then roll your CX strategy.
Let's go. We are.
No, we're streaming.
We're streaming live, but yeah. You want to join our live show, and then maybe after the show.
I was just going to ask you what you guys do.
We'll tell you. We'll tell you after the show. But, so this is come and join the show. Introduce yourself, yeah. And then we'll be done in 10 minutes, and we can tell you about what we do. So tell us about yourself, yeah.
Okay, like that's fun. How are you enjoying
Jeff,
yours?
Gary got traffic.
Love it. First time here, so.
Yeah. So
Are you
that's
a question pro then?
it might be weird. Part of what I
No. Well, I'm not.
Oh, you're not.
He's a special guest.
So are you saying?
Well, no, I mean we were working, so we were running late. So if you didn't show up, I would have had Jeff to answer. You were stopping my late for.
Well,
Yeah, me, Raj and I run a live show. What we like listening to this.
Okay.
I don't know anything about customer
engagement.
experience. I don't know what's spicy about it.
Okay.
And so,
Perfect. Don't ever
Oh,
change.
if you're,
And Raj is the most patient.
And also,
Yeah,
I'll let you guys go.
Yeah.
I'll come back.
come back in a little bit, and we'll just talk. Yeah.
All right. Nice to meet you, everybody.
See, that's the kind of stuff you get when you film it live, right? You get people come by. So, yeah.
Right? It's because we're honestly, who wouldn't want to hang out with us? Okay, what is the coolest thing you've learned at Forrester? Coolest experience.
I don't know about learned, but what I'm encouraged by.
Let me look at our listeners.
What I'm encouraged by
It's not personal.
is
Tell our
that
listeners.
there's still a thriving journey orchestration interest. I don't work for a journey orchestration company anymore, but I just had breakfast with someone who's starting a journey orchestration initiative. So it's cool to see that stuff still working. I think there's an interesting thing that Forrester is doing in trying to connect pre-sale experience for post-sale experience, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, we've always known that the marketing experience and the customer experience need to be connected, but it sounds like Forrester is starting to care more about that and encouraging that to happen.
Yeah, that's cool.
I think you're the first person that I've ever heard say like CX should be influenced by the brand, and as the head of marketing and the brand strategy builder, I love that because that's what we talk about all the time. And Gary comes to X Day, and X Day he knows it's a buy. And I work so hard to use that as our brand builder for our customer experience. And that is,
That's a great point. Building the brand helps drive the customer experience.
if not we secretly control it. And if your surveys don't do nothing.
Well, and if the customer experience doesn't deliver on the promise that the brand experience made, then you're not going to have a lot of
so I need to.
That's actually a good segue. I guess we have one more question.
Yeah.
The one from Elizabeth. So Elizabeth asks, what are the common pitfalls companies face when it comes to seeing results from a VOC program? Which I think is exactly the problem is the stuff we're talking about, right? So they don't actually align their insights with the brand. I think you probably are tired of me talking about the metric-centric trap, but I talk about that often. And too many companies look at their VOC program as a way to just deliver scores, drive metrics, and just put metrics and stuff on dashboards, but don't actually focus on the outcomes. Right? They don't focus on the brand. They don't focus on that stuff. And I think your point about journeys is important too, because that's something we talk about here a lot at Question Pro, is that it's really important to understand your journeys first before building and making surveys. Right? So there's a lot of companies here, a lot of people here that are focused on surveys and sending that out there. But the problem is if you over focus on surveys, a lot of times you're going to send feedback to people in spaces where you can get it elsewhere, right? And starting with that journey approach can ensure that you actually understand where's the right place to ask for results.
And I think the journey is building the journey map is probably the first place you need to start to understand what questions you will ask.
Yeah.
The journey tells you, okay, where is potential?
Oh my
Where is the experience not delivered?
Very
Yeah.
Wow,
So
what a
put
small
those
world.
questions in the survey. Yeah.
I'm not. No, my
Yeah.
husband is born and bred.
Amazing. Well, thanks so much for sharing that.
Thanks for having me.
Gary's right next door, so yeah.
If you're at Forrester, go check out Thematic.
Yeah. We'll check out our booth first, and then Thematic is right next door to us.
Okay, Raj. Well, we've got a couple fans who have stopped by.
And we probably have to get back to work, right? People are stopping by. We probably need to actually engage with
Maybe,
people.
or we're like slightly scaring them away. I think one lady definitely gave us the like, oh my god, what's happening there? Look, and I was like, sorry, but I think there are a lot of opportunities that we're going to take away from this. You know, we've definitely been talking about
Pretty darn
what I went to like this women's thing earlier at the beginning of Forrester. It was very insightful, even if it was a little kitschy. And I think that their whole thing was being bold in the workplace, but I think that we can really step up and support our customers being bold with their data
Yeah.
and not just getting stuck in the, oh, I have insights and here are the numbers. But now how do we coach them? How do we give them a CX
coach.
life coach for your CX program to kind of take your insights to the next level? Is definitely going to be I think the next piece here. And so, I really hope that we can take this and go forward. It's going to be so fun and so great. And I'm going to make Raj be everyone's CX life coach, guys. He's my CX life coach. He could be.
Oh wow! Look at that. Oh, that's good. Man. And Ashley Ken, who now ran off. Like we're going to work together on putting together some new stuff. The CX coach thing. You're going to see more about it. So if you're a fan of Ken's videos, more to come on that stuff soon.
It's going to be so great. Well, if y'all are here at Forrester, stop by our booth. We're next to the bar, where we like to be. Let's be honest.
Just walk in, and then it's on the right, like the third booth on the right when you walk in.
And we would love to have you, Raj. Thanks for joining me.
Yeah, of course.
Brian, thanks for manning the booth while we were doing the shenanigans. Thanks for spinning the wheel. And thanks to Ken for letting us do these shenanigans. And Paulina for running support. We love her. You want me to take a photo? We already did the question.
We did the questions already. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. There are a lot more questions. Unfortunately, we don't have time to answer because we do have to get back to prospects and customers here. But we will, for those of you that ask questions, if you register, we'll follow up offline.
Awesome. Have a great day, you guys. Thanks, Raj.
Yeah. Thanks, Crystal.
Bye. Guys.